Hello, my name is Van Smith, managing partner here at Smith Strong, and today I'm joined by attorney Brian Fraser. Brian, it's good to be with you.
It's good to be here.
So, Brian practices in our family law and estate litigation group. Brian comes to us with over 19 years of practice experience in a wide variety of roles, from Commonwealth's attorney to a nonprofit with over 3,000 global employees. And so he brings an immense amount of experience and wisdom to bear for his clients. Brian is also a father, a husband. You have 4 boys.
I do.
And so when we sit at the conference room table welcoming people for you for family law, for estate litigation, and other trial matters, what is a common thread of what you're seeing, the emotion that you're seeing, and what are you trying to communicate and reassure them in that first meeting?
Sure. I tell people all the time, especially on the family law side, but also on the estate litigation side, because both involve families, right? That I'm meeting people often on some of their worst days. They don't want to be fighting with family over money. They don't want to be fighting with a soon-to-be ex over their children, over their assets, and they're looking for a path forward. And so my goal is always to help them find that path forward, because if both they and their spouse, or if it's estate litigation, the opposing party, can't see what the future looks like past the immediate, it becomes very hard to push towards a settlement or even to be able to help them find some resolution that will let them feel like their future is secure.
Overall, 87% of our litigation cases at Smith Strong on average settle, which means approximately 4 out of 5 never see the light of a courtroom. How do you organize and think through a case to try to lead a case to settlement so the parties don't have to have their day in court?
Yeah. Well, every story has two sides, right? So whether it's a story about the family or it's a story about what happened within the estate litigation case, if we go to court, two people are telling two different stories. And so my role really is to hear my client and understand what their story is, and also hear opposing party or opposing counsel and figure out what's their story. And usually in both of those stories, there's going to be common elements, right? And that's the things that we can count on as the facts that will carry the day. And then the other pieces are the perceptions that everybody brings to the table. And so the reason so many cases settle is once you start to unpack those perceptions and you start to really shine some light on them, and especially if opposing counsel's involved, you can kind of talk through what of those perceptions are correct and incorrect. You bring the matter closer to a settlement. And if you can get to a point where both parties can see the other person's perspective around the story that's been built, usually they can settle. Now, there are some cases that's just not the case, either because someone is firmly entrenched in what their story is, even if it has no factual basis, or someone's been so hurt that even if they see the truth of part of the other person's story, they're not willing to accept any part of it. And so usually those cases have to go to trial, either because someone needs vindication or because the person they're dealing with is just so entrenched they're not willing to give an inch.
Now, a lot of attorneys either do transactional work, others do trial and litigation, settlement work. What led your career to take this path towards litigation, and what do you value about it?
Yeah, well, as you've mentioned before, my career has spanned a lot of different things, and I did litigation for a while. For a lot of attorneys, that can be high stress. I really enjoyed being a litigator, being a prosecutor here in Virginia, and doing that. But then my career, as I again had a family and had 4 boys, that became very time intensive when they were younger. And so doing more transactional work, doing more corporate work, doing in-house work was a good fit for me for a while, but I missed the courtroom. Because ultimately, the thing I love about litigation is that aspect of telling someone's story, right? You have to hear them well, you have to listen well, and then you have to find the facts that support that story, and you have to be able to relay that in such a way that either a judge or a jury can hear it, understand it, and see why that story makes sense. And so that's been a huge part of my success as a litigator, as well as settling cases. Because if you can make that story compelling, the other side is willing to settle because they can see where you're coming from. But if you can't be a good storyteller, litigation's not a good fit.
I think you can tell Brian is a very balanced, focused, caring individual. His warmth comes through. And so if you're facing a family law or estate litigation matter, we are delighted and we're very proud to have Brian Fraser with us. And so we look forward to assisting you, surrounding you with a true team, And Brian, you're a critical part of that team. We're so happy to have you.
I'm very happy to be here. It's a great team.
Well, thank you all. And I'm sure you have other questions, and we look forward to answering them. Simply give us a call or message us on the website, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.